I just got scored on Rocket League. He's also what a saving. What a nice gentleman. Alright guys, before this video starts, I want you guys to know we'll be having our very first Roast Tire subscriber game night tomorrow night, September 26th, 2020. And if you guys want to know more about this and possibly get in on the action, we'll be playing Among Us on stream. If you guys don't have Among Us, it's $5 on Steam, and it is also free on iOS and Android. Our only requirement is you have to have Discord and be a part of the Roast Tire's Discord server. We'll have a voice channel set up explicitly for people to join for gameplay and stuff like that, to play Among Us with us, and it'll only be for Among Us. So once we have 10 people in, we're going to be locking down the chat until people leave. So that's kind of that. And once we have, got that situated, we'll do more of these as time goes on. Probably not very often. These will be kind of like taking a place of subscriber guest streams. We will be doing kind of both at the same time. We'll have our subscriber guests on as well for gaming related stuff. We're going to try to shoot for having a lot more people on these than what a standard subscriber guest stream. So as long as you aren't being an annoying little kid and coming and screaming at the mic and saying inappropriate things, you're more than welcome to come and play Among Us with us. So join the Roast Tire's Discord server in the link below, and I hope you guys enjoy today's video. What's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Everyone's having a great day today. Today's video we're going to be doing kind of a cool little what's coming soon for the truck video again. As I have gotten pretty much a lot of the stuff I wanted to take care of with the intake and the radiator fan dealt with, but there's tons of stuff that are moving up and down the priority list all the time. And that was kind of what I wanted to talk to you guys today, was about some cool projects that I am working on, whether it be kind of the stuff that is set in stone and definitely happening, or the ideas I have that are like really kind of cool and unique and stuff that I wanted to share with you guys. So yeah, let's get right into the stuff that is set in stone with all the stuff that I'm definitely doing. And some of the first off, the list of things on that list. So obviously we got the timing tensioners, which I can pretty much do right now, the external ones, not the internal ones. There's actually two different sets of these on these trucks, as I believe most cars are like this as well. The external ones I can pretty much do right now, as we've already got the thermostat housing apart anyway, because the truck is torn down right now due to the hose that blew out, which Ford still hasn't gotten to me yet. It still shows it's processing, which is starting to irritate me quite a lot, because I ordered this at the beginning of the week. And every day I'm checking, it's just, oh, it's processing still, it's processing still. So I need Ford in my dealership to get in cahoots and get my dang part so I can get my truck back on the road. But right now I can actually do this. And the reason I wasn't going to do this before was because the thermostat wasn't going to come out anyway. And I was like, it'd be better to do it and take it to a shop, because I don't want to deal with it. The thermostat housing is such a pain to take out, it's like, I didn't want to deal with it. But of course we ended up taking it out anyway. So that's why I was just like, you know what, I'll just, buy this right now since it's already apart. Why not? So that's kind of that. We'll probably be doing those relatively soon. And I'm really excited for that, because the timing tensioners are a pain to do usually. And I think it'd be great to go ahead and get those replaced. That way we can get the truck, hopefully not rattling quite so much in startup. Because that's really the big issue, is it's just it rattles on startup, and I'm pretty sure that those exterior tensioners aren't holding oil pressure, and that's why that's happening. So if I can get those replaced, that should hopefully help a lot with it. Of course, the crank pulley is, what I believe is that belt chatter kind of sound that the truck makes, that sound that it makes every once in a while. And I'm pretty sure that that's the case, so getting that fixed is also kind of a priority, because I'm really sick of that noise. It's always kind of embarrassing going to events and starting the truck and rattle and then start doing that off a cold start. So the sooner or later I can get that fixed, to be the better. So that's kind of on my priority list. That's kind of the main priority right now. That is going to be happening hopefully rather soon. I don't know about the crank pulley. The crank pulley is a maybe, but I probably will get those timing tensioners done, especially because the truck's already halfway apart anyway, as it sits right now. Thanks Ford for making it take this long. And yeah, so on the other priority, all the other stuff on the priority list, of course, being the headliner, because the headliner is shot, thanks to my own dumb self, as well as the third brake light. The third brake light leak is a very common issue in these trucks. Plenty of sport trucks have dealt with it. It's not hard to deal with. You just get a gasket and put it and reseal it. Or some people just buy brand new light housings. And I was originally going to get the Recon light, which lots of people are doing right now. But I've heard that those have fitment issues, so I was like, you know what, I'm going to be safe and just buy the gasket itself and replace it with the stock one that is OEM Ford and probably not going to have sealing issues yet. But then I was like, wait a second, all the water's coming in at these spots, not just the third brake light. And it was still feeling gross all the time in there, and I couldn't figure it out. And sure enough, I came to the realization that it was my own fault, that I had caused the water damage in the headliner. I made a whole video on this. So the headliner shot, I'm waiting until post-wrap to deal with that, because the sooner I can get that on, the sooner the roof rack goes on. And once the roof rack's back on, I can get the new headliner done, because that way I won't put a headliner in and then get ruined immediately by more water damage. So that's kind of the goal with that. That is still going to happen. That is pretty much set in stone, happening as soon as the wrap is finished. Once the roof rack is back on, my goal is to have it in the shop for the headliner like same week. The AC is kind of taking the bottom of the spots right now due to how nice the weather is actually getting out now, because it's in fall and it's actually like rather cold in here right now. I'm not really seeing much of a reason now to get the AC fixed. And that's why I'm pretty sure I'll be waiting until probably next spring to have the AC done once things start heating up again. Because it's just, I have a hard time justifying buying parts to fix air conditioning when it's not even hot outside. So that's kind of that. I bet some people probably understand it, and it's rather expensive, so kind of saving that money for other projects I think is kind of good right now, because AC is it's becoming less and less necessary as time goes on right now. Up until, of course, next March and April, where it starts heating up. So that's kind of that with the priority list. There's obviously some other stuff I wanted to take care of, like the seats are like absolutely driving me insane right now, those eBay buckets. The actual broken bolster has snapped through the upholstery now, which has hooked my shorts several times trying to get out, and has tried to pants me several times getting out of my truck, which is not the most fun experience. So, as well as the passenger seat no longer locks and recline, so anytime anyone gets in there, they have to kind of hang on if I have to give it any gas whatsoever to get the speed, or they're doing this, like falling back into the back seat. So, learn from my mistake, don't buy eBay seats. So I've been looking into other options such as Brom or Corbo. Corbo is not terribly expensive. They're about the same price as Brahms, but they do offer them in wider seats, which is pretty good for me because I'm a bigger dude. I prefer to have a bigger seat. So thankfully, Corbo offers their seats in a wide format, which is helps me a lot to help me fit better. And someone's already done this in a Ranger on the Corbo website, so I am not concerned about fitment on the wide seats. So that should be pretty good and nice and getting more comfortable bucket style seats. Because I still want buckets. I really like the style of those seats. But I'll probably be throwing the stocks back in temporarily until I can get to that point to where I can afford to put the Corbos or the Brahms, if I can lose weight and time, which I probably won't, in the truck. Unfortunately, they don't sell the Corbos wide with the color combo I want, which is, well, actually, if I do that, it would kind of give away the color of the wrap, so I'm going to kind of be quiet on that one. They do have it in all black, which is probably going to be what I get for the wide seating, because that's all it comes in. So, yeah, the color scheme that I'm looking for isn't available with the Corbos, unfortunately. The Brahms have it, but the Corbos don't. So that's kind of that for the like the little intermediate stuff like the seats. Stuff I want to take care of, but probably will be a little bit later because of how expensive it is. The Corbos I looked at in particular were the wide seats that had heating functions, seat heating, so I thought that was kind of a nice feature. It doesn't cost that much more to get it, so I probably will option that out when I get mine. But yeah, that's kind of that. So ideas, cool stuff that I thought about that would work really well with the truck. First off is something that I think is really neat, and that is a very nice high-mounted, dash-mounted gauge pod. And now the idea for this comes from one of my favorite cars in production, to ever have been in production, which is the 2007 to 2015 Honda Civic Si. It's one of the cars that I'm very sure that my next car will probably be as one of those generations of Civic. I love the 8th and 9th gen Civics, especially specifically the Si variant, a lot. So getting one of those would be pretty cool. But my favorite aspect about those cars is the double tier dash. And how that works is you look down, you've got your tachometer right in front of you where it would be in any other car. Your standard gauge cluster. But the Si from the 8th and 9th gen also has a very high mounted speedometer that I really, really like. Because for me, especially because of my autism spectrum disorder, I don't have a great way of, like most people, they can drive 45 and they know it because they can feel it. You know, they have a very specific feel at 45 that they know. For me, I don't have that kind of luxury due to my ASD. I don't have the kind of sensory advantage on that regard. So I have no clue when I'm going 45 without explicitly looking at my speedometer. And it's pretty dangerous to look down at your speedometer as often as I do. So I would prefer to have a high-mounted speedometer somewhere, whether it be in a gauge pod, which is probably preferred, or one of those stupid projector heads-up display things that you see all the time on Amazon and stuff like that, which kind of just takes space, and I really don't like it. That's why I prefer the gauge pod look, because it's a little bit cleaner to me than getting a stupid projector that hangs off the side of your freaking like windshield, and it's like, I'd rather have a bit more comfort in that kind of regard. And not comfort, but cleanness in that regard. I've already got a freaking tuner and a dash cam stuck to my windshield. I don't want to add anything more to that. So the idea was to get a 3-pod dash mounted gauge pod and have it mounted right on top of my dash, right near the windshield. That way I can look down and see my tachometer, which really isn't that important in an automatic, as well as having the speedometer kind of centrally mounted in the gauge pod. So when I'm looking up the road, I can simply just move my eyes ever so slightly to see the speedometer. I'm not having to physically look down at my cluster to see how fast I'm actually going. So that's kind of that on that front. That is like a planning phase thing. I don't know when and if that'll even happen, but it's kind of just a cool idea I had because I really love that style, the double-tiered dash of the Civic Si, and I think that'd be a great feature to implement with the truck. So the other ideas that I've had, particularly come to cosmetics, I'm thinking about getting the wheels redone, my Motives. I've had these nice satin black Motive 409s for the last, since 2017, right before I graduated high school. And I've been thinking about when I get the truck wrapped, and once I reveal the color, I'll reveal what color I want. I'm thinking about getting the wheels redone. I'm going to keep the Motives, of course, even though the fitment is whack. I would need massive spacers to clear the backs, and there's no way that the spacer size I need even exists. Because actually I found out rear fitment in terms of offset is like 0. So I have plus 40 on these, so they sit rather far in. So I definitely need a much more aggressive offset, and I can't really get that a 40 mil spacer. So yeah, that's kind of that on that one. But for the most part, that's kind of with the wheels. But I'm thinking about getting them plastied up temporarily just to see how it would look. And then once I decide if I want to keep it that way, I'll go and get it professionally powder coated. Because I'm not one to cheap out on stuff like that anymore. I used to be. I mean, I'm still in the garage with it. I bought eBay seats for crying out loud. But I want the truck to be perfect for me, and I think with the color scheme that I'm going for, with the wrap and everything, it's going to look absolutely spectacular with the wheel color choice that I've got in mind. I've already talked to Hayden and Michael about this, and they seem to be really good on it. My dad, not so much. My dad hates the colored wheel I'm going with. Not going with, but I've debated on. But that's kind of that. Lots of like cool little neat cosmetic stuff. Like I want to rep my next tuner, especially if they can dial the truck in perfectly the way I want it to. I want to rep them, so I might try to get either a custom-made windshield banner made, or I may, find if they have a windshield banner, I'll go with that. I haven't run a windshield banner on the truck in years, so I think it'd be kind of cool to bring one back and not make it quite so big to where I struggle to see stoplights. And of course, eventually, I do want to look into lowering the truck more because it is still moderately tall, and I do want to get a bit lower of a stance with it, so I may try to find some way to lower it more. Of course, I can probably put bigger blocks on the back and probably lower the torsion keys even more, but I'm not too sure on that just yet. But that's kind of the idea things. So that I've got for now, as well as the steering wheel swap with a later Ranger steering wheel, as well as an F-150 Lightning steering wheel, because I read in a forum that those wheels are all interchangeable as long as it's one of the not fairly new Ranger steering wheels with dual stage airbags, but the single stage ones. I think it was like 2004, I believe, was when they introduced that steering wheel in the Ranger. A single stage, so I may pick one of those up and swap that in there because I really don't like the stock Sport Trac wheel all that much. But that's kind of that, guys. So if you all enjoyed this video, if you did, be sure to leave a like, subscribe for more content coming soon. And I'll see you guys next time. Have a great one, everyone.